Thank you. Good evening and welcome to the 18th Annual Davidson Fellows Awards Ceremony. I'm Bob Davidson, founder of the Davidson Institute, and I thank all of you for being here with us for this very special event. This evening we will be celebrating the amazing accomplishments, they truly are amazing, of this year's 20 Davidson Fellows, including cutting-edge mathematics research, advances in locating victims of natural disasters, investigating the links between various diseases, using artificial intelligence to unravel the DNA, a different approach to treating heart disease, and extraordinary music portfolios. The Davidson Fellows represent the very best of today's young people. They are intelligent, kind, compassionate, and possess a strong desire to improve the world around them. They are naturally inquisitive, and each fellow is driven to use their talents and intelligence to make the world a better place. I am always impressed, and especially this year, when I meet these young people, and this year, as I said, is no different, but maybe even a little more special. Tonight we will be recognizing the Davidson 18 Fellows, 3 Davidson Fellow Laureates at $50,000 level, 9 Davidson Fellows receiving $25,000 scholarships, and 8 receiving $10,000 scholarships. And this evening, for the first time, we have a little extra reward for our fellows. We've been trying to do this for a number of years and haven't quite been successful. But this year, we were successful. Thanks to a meeting Lisa and I had exactly 1 week ago. This came about through an instant response of, yes, I will do that. So this year, each student will receive a letter that says the following: congratulations on earning a prestigious Davidson Fellows Scholarship. America needs leaders like you who apply their knowledge and talents to serve our communities. I encourage you to proactively improve the world around you, excelling in school and beyond. I am inspired by your dedication to learning and look forward to hearing of your many accomplishments in the years ahead. My prayers and best wishes are with you. Sincerely, President Donald J. Trump. So with that, we'll get started. Our first recipient is Mr. Garrett Brixey, a 17-year-old from Potomac, Maryland.
Hi, I'm Garrett Brixey, a senior at Winston Churchill High School in Potomac, Maryland. I'm honored to be named a Davidson Fellow. My project, Innovative Optimization of Ready-to-Use Food for Acute Malnutrition Treatment, demonstrated possible improvements in the treatment and prevention of malnutrition. Malnutrition is an underlying factor in nearly half of all deaths around the world under the age of 5. Treatment and prevention of malnutrition relies on products manufactured from costly ingredients such as milk powder, which are often shipped long distances. I built an easy-to-use computer tool to allow optimization of locally suitable treatment and prevention. The tool uses locally available crops to meet nutrient composition goals at a fraction of the ingredient cost. Applied to Malawi, different ready-to-use foods and fortified blended flours were optimized. My method created ready-to-use foods with cost reduced by over 60% and water footprint reduced by nearly 80%. And fortified blended flours with ingredient cost reduced by over 20% and ingredient water footprint reduced by over 50%. Recipes I optimize are currently undergoing prototyping in Kenya, and I'm working on optimizing treatment and prevention products across all of sub-Saharan Africa. I hope that my research will allow life-saving treatment to reach more children in need while also aligning international aid with sustainable development. I would like to thank Mr. Davidson and the Davidson Institute for the recognition and scholarship. I'd also like to thank Dr. Steve Collins and Mr. Peter Acomo for their guidance, Mrs. Brown for her nomination, and my parents for their love and support. Thank you.
You hold it. It's all yours. You hold it tipped up a little bit so it doesn't reflect in the camera. Now, before you go, you get your letter from President Trump. This is, well, that's, yeah, here we go. That's yours. Our next fellow is Miss Shelly Goel, a 17-year-old from Irving, Texas.
Hi, everyone. I'm Shelly, and I'm a senior at the Science and Engineering Magnet in Dallas, Texas. So my project was developing an electronic device with an integrated app for early detection of cardiovascular diseases, especially at that early stage, and I was in the engineering category. So cardiovascular conditions are actually the leading cause of death globally, and they contribute to more than 1/4 of the deaths in the US. The current detection methods we have, they're either too expensive, they're invasive, or they're time-consuming, which makes it very impractical for them to be implemented during a wellness care visit. Furthermore, a lot of times the symptoms of cardiovascular conditions occur at a very late stage, by which point the condition has already reached very life-threatening levels. So cardiovascular conditions are preventable, and these sudden silent deaths can be largely eliminated if we're monitoring the progression of this disease in middle-aged adults during that wellness care visit and accordingly directing them to that optimal care that they need. So in this research, I developed a low-cost, non-invasive, easy-to-use electronic device which measures a continuous blood pressure waveform at that patient's brachial artery. And this device was also integrated with a comprehensive blood pressure analytics app, which actually displays this waveform real time and shows a multi-parametric analysis and assessment. So due to the ease of use and minimal expertise needed to use this device and app, this can actually be implemented in virtually any setting, including the wellness care visit and the home environment, thus having a very major global impact. So I plan to major in computer science for biomedical applications. That is purely my passion in integrating both the computer science and the biomedical aspect of what I've been doing, and using that to revolutionize the healthcare system and ensuring that cardiovascular diseases and other treatable conditions can be detected at an early stage. And I would really like to thank Ms. Termel and Mr. Gonzalez, who are my teacher mentors, for being so supportive of me throughout my high school years. Ms. Termel, who has always encouraged me to step outside my comfort zone in pursuing my passions, and who actually first inspired me to dive into CS and challenged me to think of its applications beyond just the classroom setting. I would also like to thank Mr. Gonzalez, who has offered crucial guidance in all my years of research and who dedicates countless hours inside and outside the classroom environment in order to enrich our learning atmosphere and foster that critical thinking. I would also like to thank my family, foremost, for instilling that passion for STEM in me from such a young age, and for their endless support and inspiration, for being those pillars of strength for me and for shaping me into who I am today. And then finally, I would like to thank Mr. Davidson and the entire Davidson Institute for supporting my passions, not just today through the scholarship, but for the past few months in helping us get to this point, and for dedicating so much of their time in ensuring my success of all the fellows around me. And it's been so awe-inspiring to be a part of such a great, incredible group of Davidson Fellows from so many different backgrounds, but with that curiosity, that passion, and drive for learning. Thank you.
You come over here and take it back a little bit. It doesn't show them. All right, now don't go away. You get a letter. Okay? Next, we have Mr. Marvin Lee. Over here.
Hello, my name is Marvin Lee, and I'm a sophomore from Salisbury, Maryland. My project is a support vector machine algorithm for satellite remote sensing of optically complex coastal waters. My project is in the field of environmental remote sensing. Sound management of the coastal zone requires comprehensive and constant monitoring of water quality and ecosystem productivity in coastal waters. Satellite remote sensing provides a synoptic view of the ocean surface at daily intervals and is a cost-effective way to monitor water quality. An important part of ocean color remote sensing is the development of algorithms that can accurately infer water optical properties from satellite reflectance measurements. However, algorithms developed for the open ocean perform poorly in estuaries and coastal oceans, which are optically complex. Using the Chesapeake Bay as a study site, I have applied machine learning algorithms to satellite remote sensing of coastal waters. My project will lead to new tools for monitoring water quality and detecting harmful algal blooms in estuaries and coastal waters. These tools can lead to a more effective management of coastal resources. I would like to thank Mr. Davidson and the Davidson Institute for giving me this wonderful opportunity. I would also like to thank my nominators, Dr. Greg Silsby and Dr. Vera Holdai. Thank you.
Now, wait a minute. We got a picture to take. Okay, we got a picture to take. Okay, you stand there. We'll get your picture. Here's your president. Okay. Not to be skipped, we have next Oliver Lightner, who I know from the past.
Hello, I am Oliver Lightner from Reno, Nevada, a recent graduate of the Davidson Academy of Nevada, and now a freshman at Yale University. Before I go much further, I need to give a huge thank you to my parents, who have been a constant source of inspiration and nurturing in everything I have done so far in my life. My nominators, Elizabeth Walenta and George Oakes, who gave me indispensable mentorship as I developed this project, and of course the Davidsons, who by providing me with this fellowship are helping me further pursue what I love. I believe in a harmony between science and music, and oftentimes I feel that practicing my violin allows me to approach science with a clear head or help me find a source of inspiration. Coincidentally, music brought me to Freiburg, Germany, a city that served as the source of inspiration for my solar distillation project titled Localizing Heat with Carbon Foam for Efficient Solar Distillation. While in Freiburg, I began to admire the energy efficiency of the district in which I lived. The residents, many of the residents there all believed in the idea that renewable technologies like solar power did not have to stand separate from urban life, but could be simple and small scale and be incorporated into our daily lives. This idea of simplicity and efficiency stuck with me when I began to think about the problems with access to clean drinking water that many people around the world face. The simplest and cheapest devices for water distillation are solar stills, which use the sun's light to drive a distillation process. However, the problem that I wanted to solve in this project is that making these devices more efficient without a significant increase in cost or complexity is a real challenge. So I investigated whether heat localization via a carbon foam pad may be a simple and cost-efficient solution to improving the distillation rate of a solar still. Heat localization refers to the idea that rather than heating an entire volume of water, heating the surface can allow for higher temperatures there and faster evaporation rates. Carbon foam pads, with their high insulation properties and high absorption spectrum, serve as ideal materials for this. And I tested a series of carbon foam pads in a controlled laboratory environment to determine the amount and thickness of material needed to enhance the evaporation of water when exposed to sunlight. Interestingly, I found that the thinnest would be the most efficient in terms of cost for my purposes of building a portable and cost-effective solar still. After implementing this thin pad in a model solar distiller that I built, I recovered twice as much fresh water from salt water than with a device without the foam, which is incredibly exciting. At Yale, I would like to continue working and designing on a more durable and portable still that utilizes this heat localization technique. Thank you.
Next, we have Miss Ann Liu, an 18-year-old from San Diego, California.
Hello, everyone. My name is Ann Liu, and I'm from San Diego, California. I am very honored to have been chosen as a Davidson Fellow for the category of music. My project is called Music and the Inner Self. This project explores the influence of music on human compassion, motivation, and undying will, which are all essential connective elements for bonding between people. My inspiration for this project comes from a personal experience. I was diagnosed with secretory otitis media, the accumulation of fluid and excess mucus in the ears, which caused a dimming to my hearing disability. I had trouble holding conversations because the words would sound like muffled to me, and I was frustrated because it worsened to the point where my condition had to be taken to the hospital and have surgery and hospitalized. During that time, many of my activities were eliminated, including playing the piano. I was very frustrated because I was falling behind on everything. But then one day, a thought dawned on me. What if, instead of actually hearing the sound, I just imagined the sound? So I started imagining myself practicing at the piano, attentive to every touch, sound, and way. This technique is known as mental practice. Well, of course, now it's common among musicians who are looking to improve their craft, but I believe it has a broader application. Namely, it can support musicians with disabilities. So a piano company, the Highland Piano Corporation, reached out to me and offered to sponsor me for a solo concert. And I saw this as an excellent opportunity to demonstrate the effectiveness of mental practice. I am extremely blessed and thankful to be supported by this generous scholarship, Mr. Davidson, and the Davidson Institute, to help me to continue my music studies and to help others overcome similar illnesses. And this includes helping musicians to practice their instruments more conveniently and also bring hope to others as it gives them opportunities and hope for them to learn music again or for the first time. Well, of course, this project would not have been possible without the help of my music teacher, Dr. Ethan Dong, and Dr. Christopher Harding for guiding me through my tough times. I would also like to thank my parents for their never-ending support of my determination to complete this project. I would like to thank the Highland Company for kindly sponsoring this concert through financial support. I know there are many more people out there who wish to learn music but are restricted by their physical limitations. By sharing the method of mental practice, more people will be involved in music, regardless of their disabilities. And the more people that are connected through music, more bonds will create and trust will strengthen. Thank you very much.
Next, we have Miss Nicole Moiseyev, an 18-year-old from Gloucester, New Jersey.
Hello, my name is Nicole Moiseyev, and I'm from Gloucester, New Jersey, and I'm currently a freshman at Duke. I'm extremely honored to be here as a Davidson Fellow. It is amazing to see the kinds of incredibly unique, creative, and impactful projects students my age and even younger have pursued with great success. My project, entitled The Effects of the Orphan Drug Act on Rare Disease Research and Drug Development, Evidence from a Regression Discontinuity Design, falls under the categories of science and economics, a cross-section that I have found to be both extremely interesting and of great consequence. The goal of my project was to evaluate the effects of a law called the Orphan Drug Act, which was introduced in 1983 with the purpose of offering economic incentives to pharmaceutical companies specifically working towards developing drugs for rare diseases. The law was a response to the quote-unquote orphaning of diseases that do not afflict many Americans, since companies felt it was not worth investing the high cost of drug development for such small markets. In my project, I measured the effects of the law by looking at 3 factors that represent research conducted in a given disease: the number of peer-reviewed journal entries, clinical trials, and patents for that disease. I created 2 groups of diseases, rare and non-rare, and evaluated the difference in research being conducted in each disease before and after the law was introduced. I hypothesized that the non-rare group would not be affected by the law, while the rare group would see an observable surge in research interest due to the benefits offered by the law. And in fact, this was the result I saw. I believe my research is impactful because it shows that laws such as the Orphan Drug Act can truly instigate huge change. Despite the law's significant effects, though, many rare diseases remain untreated. And I hope that my research will encourage companies to realize how profitable the Orphan Drug Act has made rare disease drug development. And additionally, by sharing my findings, methods, and newly digitized data sets with fellow scientists, I believe I can further enable research on similar health policies. I could not have done this project without the support of my mentors. I would like to thank Professor Emily Oster, health economist at Brown University, and Dr. Kathleen Miller, an economist for the FDA, both of whom were able to offer me continuous virtual feedback and expertise. And I'd also like to thank my high school research mentor, Mrs. Donna Leonardi. While I worked mainly on a different research project than this one throughout high school in Mrs. Leonardi's cellular biology lab, she has always encouraged me to pursue research in any form and was always more than willing to offer me both advice and entertain my questions. And finally, I would like to thank Mr. Davidson and the Davidson Institute as a whole, not only for the scholarship, but also for allowing me to interact with such interesting, intelligent people that will undoubtedly be the leaders of our generation. Thank you.
Special letter addressed just to you from the President of the United States. Next, we have Mr. Raj Mova, an 18-year-old from San Jose, California.
Hi there, I'm Raj Mova. I grew up in San Jose, California, and I'm currently a freshman at MIT studying math and biology. So for my project, I worked at the intersection of computer science and genomics. So the project I submitted was titled Snippet, Deep Learning the Human Epigenome, blah, 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 some other big words. Basically, I was interested in studying, applying techniques from AI to help explain how genetic variation between individuals can help explain how different people might be more predisposed to a disease and how certain people are not predisposed to diseases. So this is sort of a general approach that can be applied to anything from cancer to obesity, basically anything that's influenced by genetic risk. But I will say that my research, in this area is hardly a first step, and there's still a lot that needs to be done to build more and more accurate computer models for this task. So in terms of my future, I guess I'm definitely hoping to stick with research, at least as far as a PhD. After that, there are, I guess, a ton of options, and I'm not really sure what I'll do. And with regard to a Davidson Fellowship, I'm obviously stoked to be here, and I think it's pretty amazing, but also super important to recognize the guidance of so many amazing mentors that I've had over the years. It really wouldn't be possible without them. So I'm forever thankful to Peyton Greenside, Alex Trevino, and NASA Senate Armstrong, who are 3 graduate students that I've worked with at labs at Stanford over the last 3 years, as well as my supervising professor, Anshul Kondaje. All of them spent many hours with me that they really didn't have to. They took time out of their schedules to help me grow as a researcher and be here today. Also, my high school research mentor, Chris Spenner, was also extremely informative in shaping the way I think about science and the world more broadly. And of course, the support and encouragement of my parents and my older brother at every step of the way sort of lit the flame of scientific passion that that still burns with me today, and I hope will burn for a very long time. And finally, thanks to Bob Davidson and everyone involved at the Davidson Foundation behind the scenes making this happen. It's really been an honor to meet all of you, so thanks.
Next is Mr. Grant Sheen, a 17-year-old from Irvine, California.
Greetings, friends, families, and fellows. My name is Grant Sheen, and I'm from Irvine, California. So I am beyond honored and humbled to be selected as a Davidson Fellow. I mean, just being here with so many talented, intelligent young men and women is truly an indescribable feeling. So my project is titled An Alternating Minimization Method to Train Neural Network Models for Brainwave Classification, and is in the category of mathematics. So Alzheimer's disease affects more than 40 million people around the world and deteriorates the connection between the brain and the body. And this makes it difficult to express one's basic thoughts and needs, causing communication issues between Alzheimer's patients and their caretakers. So my research provides a solution to this issue through wireless brainwave classification, which gives caretakers the ability to understand the needs of Alzheimer's patients and be able to help them accordingly. So future research includes development of common brainwave features, which could potentially allow thought recognition to reach the convenience and accuracy of voice recognition today. But again, that's far in the future. I will use this scholarship to continue my research over the next few years and pursue a career in mathematics or computer science. I'd like to thank my parents for always supporting me, my nominators, Professor Knut Solna and Professor Tom Ho, as well as Bob Davidson and the Davidson Institute. But above all, I would like to thank my grandmother, who struggled with Alzheimer's disease, inspired my passion to pursue this project. This one is for you. Thank you very much.
They're like dominoes. Okay, now we move to the category of $25,000 recipients. And the first is Miss Maggie Chen, an 18-year-old from San Diego, California.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Maggie Chen, and I'm from San Diego, California. Antibiotic-resistant bacteria kill over 2 million people each year. After seeing the impact of this problem while working at my local hospital, I was inspired to pursue my science project entitled Cell Membrane-Coated Nanodevice Against Antibiotic-Resistant Bacteria. I developed this cell membrane-coated nanodevice to eliminate antibiotic-resistant bacteria using the concept of detoxification. My platform removes and deactivates secretory toxins from these bacteria, allowing for immune system recovery and subsequent bacteria elimination. These toxins are neutralized by red blood cell membrane-coated nanoparticles, which are housed in a 3D printed hydrogel structure. This nanodevice displays broad-spectrum and highly efficient toxin absorption abilities to serve as an effective treatment for eliminating multiple strains of antibiotic-resistant bacteria. I'm so excited to continue my studies in biology and health policy at Harvard University, and I hope to continue my research as an undergraduate. I would like to extend my deepest gratitude to my mentor, Professor Zhang, and my teachers, Mr. Ariel Haas and Ms. Wendy Slake, as well as to my family for their unwavering support. Lastly, I would like to thank the Davidson Institute and Bob Davidson for this incredible opportunity. Thank you very much.
Especially from the president. Next, we have Cosmo Fabrizio, an 18-year-old from South Orange, New Jersey.
Good evening. My name is Cosmo Lane Fabrizio. I'm from South Orange, New Jersey, and I'm currently a freshman at Cornell University studying economics and government. The title of my project is 21st Century Jazz Music, The Search for Authenticity. And while my work was submitted into the category of music, I do believe that the implications for it are far-reaching to society at large. A little bit about me. I grew up in a household with a dad who was a funk hippie in the 70s and a mom who was playing traditional Caribbean music. So I had a fascination and a love for music's power as a source of history and family tradition instilled in me from a young age. I picked up the guitar in second grade, and by freshman year, I was opening up for Wynton Marsalis and the Jazz Lincoln Center Orchestra. And while I do showcase specific prodigious performances throughout my portfolio, at the core of my work are two philosophical ideas. One, a commentary on the effect of institutionalization on artistic authenticity, and on the other hand, a showcase of the interconnectedness of tradition and innovation. To explore these ideas, I extended Soren Kierkegaard's parable of the duck questioning the role of cultural specialists and generalists in society. I also referenced Chimamanda Ngozi Adichie's concept of a single story, fearing an education system that, by oversimplifying jazz today, gives our society a distorted understanding of its origins and future implications. Now, everyone knows me from music, so when I tell them I want to go into politics, I get some mixed responses. But between my mentorship with Wynton Marsalis and my experiences in the larger jazz community, I've been led to seek a broader understanding of the relationships that exist between culture and government. I do believe that jazz is the most democratic art form that we as a society have created, and the music compels us to embrace the humanity of all types of people. Because of that, the lessons jazz has taught me from the value of history and the need to uphold these democratic ideals, I see that as directly as leading me to my political ambitions today. And that said, I will never stop listening, playing to, or engaging with jazz music. On to the thank yous, I want to first and foremost thank my parents for their unwavering devotion and sacrifice to my younger sister, my older brother, and I. I have a deep love and respect for both of you. I'm incredibly grateful to have you in my life. I want to thank all my teachers, Mr. Marsalis for his mentorship, Mr. Julius Tolentino, and Profe Alexis Romay, who made the trip down with his son to be here this weekend. He's been an incredibly meaningful teacher to me, even though I actually never took his class in high school. And last but certainly not least, I want to thank you to Mr. Davidson and the Davidson Institute for all your support, acknowledging the hard work of young people, and it's been great to spend a couple days with you guys. I know me, Grant, and Ishan are going to have a good time after this, going to go sightseeing, so thank you again.
Yeah, just for you. Oh, you want just one. Okay, you're welcome. Next, we have Mr. Sachin Conan, a 17-year-old from Chandler, Arizona.
Hi, my name is Sachin Conan, and as you said, I'm from Chandler, Arizona. And first off, I would like to thank the Davidson Institute and Bob Davidson for this nomination. I'm deeply humbled for my research to be receiving this outstanding recognition. So I started my project back in 2015, right after the Nepal earthquake. After seeing the really horrific newscasts of families and first responders searching for their loved ones under rubble, I wanted to make some sort of tech solution which could basically survey an area and give definitive predictions of a human's presence. So for nearly 2 years, I spent my time fiddling with amplifier and filter circuits on a breadboard, testing different signal processing algorithms on my Arduino and Raspberry Pi, and until I eventually developed a Doppler radar system that was actually capable of detecting humans by detecting the oscillating movements of their heart and chest. The final system I designed built upon previous research, and it has its own custom noise cancellation technology, which allowed it to be able to detect humans through concrete and brick. In the future, I see every first responder having such a system, perhaps built onto a rover or a drone, which would allow them to survey large areas of a natural disaster and save more lives by detecting more people buried under rubble. It was quite a big dream when I first started thinking about this problem, but the support of my parents, Professor of Electrical Engineering James Aberly at ASU, and my research teacher, Miss Naipar, were crucial to the success of this project. So again, I'd like to thank the Davidson Institute and Mr. Davidson for nominating me for this award, and I pledge to use this scholarship to springboard my next idea.
From the President of the United States. Next is Miss Dena Schefter, a 17-year-old from Ridgewood, New Jersey.
Good evening, fellows, friends, and family. My name is Dena Schefter, and I'm a college freshman originally from Ridgewood, New Jersey. My project is called Modeling the Effects of Vasoactive Intestinal Peptide on Pre-Osteoblast Differentiation, and it is an emerging avenue of treatment in the fields of biomedical sciences, cellular biology, and applications of mathematical modeling. My research is centered around the crosstalk between multiple sclerosis, which is a disease of the central nervous system, and osteoporosis, a condition pertaining to the skeletal system, both of which affect millions of people around the world. In my study, I investigate the use of a neuropeptide called vasoactive intestinal peptide as a potential treatment for both diseases simultaneously. As vasoactive intestinal peptide has been beneficial in models of multiple sclerosis in past studies, I measured the implications of this peptide in the maturation of preosteoblasts, which are immature bone cells important to the pathway of osteoporosis. The conclusions of my research suggest that this peptide has the potential to help those who suffer from both multiple sclerosis and osteoporosis. Being named a Davidson Fellow is an incredible culmination of 4 years of research, and I am exceedingly grateful for this recognition as well as the scholarship that I've been awarded. As I've just begun my first year at Columbia University, the scholarship will be used for college tuition as well as potentially to fund future research that I may be doing. I would like to thank Bob Davidson and the Davidson Institute for this honor, as well as Ms. Donna Leonardi for being an amazing research mentor and for sharing endless advice over the past 4 years. Finally, I'm so grateful for my parents and my family members who have supported me in every single way throughout my research. Thank you very much.
Next is Miss Erin Smith, an 18-year-old from Lenexa, Kansas.
Hi, everyone, and good evening. So my name is Erin Smith, and I'm from Lenexa, Kansas. My project is in the technology category and entitled FacePrint, a diagnostic and monitoring tool for Parkinson's disease, using dynamic video footage tracking and digital action unit biomarkers generated by spontaneous imposed facial expressions. FacePrint digitizes and quantifies the masked face and other identified early-stage facial expression impairments associated with early signs of disease onset turning this previously subjective observation into an objective indicator of disease onset. Requiring only a computer and webcam, FacePrint offers an inexpensive, remote tool to detect early stages of Parkinson's disease within milliseconds. I hope to continue to unlock the mysteries of the human mind using innovative technological approaches and transform neurological disease detection and treatment, first as a Till Fellow and then at Stanford University studying computer science and neuroscience. I am so grateful for the individuals and the organizations that were instrumental to the success of this project. First, I would like to thank my nominators, Ms. Brenda Bott and Dr. Doug McNair. Thank you for creating a paradigm shift in my own understanding and in my own definition of what it means to be a teacher. Thank you so much for bridging the gap between what I learned within classroom walls and real-world applications and caring about me beyond mere academic trajectory. I would also like to thank Mr. Davidson for creating this scholarship. Thank you so much for encouraging us to continue our work and to give back to our communities. Thank you so much for giving us the opportunity to gather together over these past few days and meet with each other. Last but not least, I would like to thank my mom for the countless hours she spent doing experiments with me in the kitchen when I was a little kid, and for continuously believing in my ideas as they moved out of the kitchen and into the real world. Thank you so much for believing in the power of simple ideas. Thank you.
Next, we have an 18-year-old Miss Marissa Smith from Ashburn, Virginia.
Hi everyone, my name is Marissa Smith, and I'm from Ashburn, Virginia. My research was reinventing cardiovascular disease therapy in the field of cellular and molecular biology. I began my research at 14 under the guidance of my wonderful and kind-hearted mentor, Dr. Anna Bleisbaum, who patiently taught me not only how to perform fruit fly heart surgery, but also how to think like a scientist. Over 4 years, I developed a novel dual therapeutic for heart disease, which is the world's leading cause of death, claiming more lives than all forms of cancer combined. While current drugs treat the symptoms of heart disease, I took a conceptually different approach. I used 2 powerful regulatory proteins that target the root molecular cause of heart disease. When tested in vivo, my therapeutic preserved healthy heart structure and function, reduced fat accumulation and blood glucose levels, while preventing skeletal muscle damage. Most importantly, my therapeutic increased survival to nearly 100%. My work is a small step towards a future free of cardiovascular disease, a future where the suffering of 400 million people living with heart disease and the loss of 18 million lives each year is averted. On a broader scale, my research enables a paradigm shift towards targeting other chronic diseases like Alzheimer's, cancers, and schizophrenia, not as single diseases, but as clusters of connected diseases, and will usher in a new era of next-generation therapies that target multiple shared disease pathways. In the future, I will be expanding my heart disease therapeutic into a biotechnology startup, developing interdisciplinary pipelines for rapid, low-cost drug discovery. I am profoundly grateful to the Davidson Talent Institute and to Bob Davidson for honoring me with this award. I will be using this award over the next 4 years at Harvard University, where I'll be studying molecular biology and computer science. Lastly, I'd like to thank my mother and my 2 older brothers for their unending support and dedication. I truly would not be here today without you.
Next is Mr. Ishan Tripathi, a 16-year-old from Montclair, New Jersey.
Dear friends, family, and everyone from Davidson, my name is Ishan Tripathi, and I'm thrilled to be here today. The honor of being here today is inspiring and highly motivating. I live in Montclair, New Jersey, and I study at the Dalton School in New York City. The title of my project is Utilizing Recurrent Neural Networks, Long-Term Short-Term Memory Algorithms to Create a Smart, Responsive, Ductless Indoor Air Quality Improvement Network System. The project is the culmination of the past 4 years of my research in the field of environmental engineering. Poor indoor air quality has been identified as the biggest environmental killer, claiming 4.3 million lives every single year. Yet, paradoxically, this global problem is often overlooked, and its risks are significantly underestimated. While indoor air pollutants arise from everyday activities, the medical ailments that they cause are often permanent and may be fatal. Pollutant concentrations indoors are 5 to 100 times higher than outdoors. And the exposure to these pollutants are severely detrimental to both our health and our productivity. And this is not a third world problem. It is plaguing our country today. Just to give you a sense, a CO2 concentration above 800 ppm can impair cognitive ability and executive function, while the average American high school has a CO2 concentration of 1,400 ppm. My research directly tackles the problems of poor indoor air quality and has the potential to save billions of dollars from lost productivity, prevent diseases, and save lives. I've created the first ever integrated solution that brings together the quantification of these pollutants, auto-responsive air remediation capabilities in a modular and customized design at an affordable price point. The network system utilizes a recurrent neural network, long-term short-term memory algorithms, and stochastic simulations to create a smart, proactive, ductless network that focuses on improving indoor air quality while maintaining thermal and cost efficiency. On a more personal note, this scholarship has inspired me to continue my research. I'm excited to continue developing solutions to complex problems, and I hope that my research someday might directly improve people's lives. I would like to thank Mr. Davidson for his generosity and for creating this amazing institute. I have fond memories of visiting Reno and listening to some illustrious alums. My journey to this ceremony would not have been possible without my sister, my parents, and my mentor, Professor LaQuatra. Thank you.
Make sure it's got your name. It does, right from the president. Next, we have Mr. Franklin Wang, a 17-year-old from Falls Church, Virginia.
Good evening. My name is Franklin Wong, and I'm from Falls Church, Virginia. My project is titled The Monodromy Groups of Indecomposable Rational Functions. It's a project in math. Monodromy groups are an important property of all rational functions. Combining methods from several different fields of math, my project finds a complete classification of all monodromy groups, putting the final nail in the coffin of a 150-year-old problem. Since rational functions are such an important mathematical object, this project will likely both have theoretical and practical applications, such as proving new results in topology, as well as constructing safer infrastructure, like bridges resistant to strong winds. I plan to use my scholarship money to support my education in pure mathematics at Harvard College. I would like to thank my nominators, Mr. Patrick White and Dr. Michael E. Zeev. And last, but certainly not least, Bob Davidson.
Okay. Next, we have Mr. David Wu, an 18-year-old from Potomac, Maryland. They seem to have us surrounded tonight.
Hi, I'm David Wu. I'm from Potomac, Maryland. I'm a freshman at MIT. I'm not a rising freshman. My project is in the math category, and it's called Non-Uniform Distributions of Patterns of Sequences of Primes and Prime Moduli. Essentially, I strengthened a conjectural argument that explained the irregularities in the frequencies of certain prime patterns. And while it's too early to say whether it has any practical applications, understanding how prime numbers and behave in their properties in the broad sense is very important for the study of cryptography, which is based on number theory. And I couldn't have done it without many key people in my life. I'd like to thank my parents and my sister, all of whom have supported me very much and who I also miss very much. I'd like to thank my high school math teacher, Mr. Schwartz, who taught me a lot of the math that I know today and instilled a passion for rigor in mathematics. I'd also like to thank my mentor, Larry Washington, who has helped me through the thick and thin of the research process. And finally, I'd like to thank Bob Davidson for providing me with this amazing opportunity. Thank you.
And now for this year's three $50,000 laureate recipients. And the first is Miss Amy Chen, 18-year-old from San Jose, California.
Good evening. My name is Amy Chen, and I'm from San Jose, California. It is such an honor to be here with you all today. My project in the Technology and Artificial Intelligence category is titled Deep Learning-Based Automated Tool Detection and Operative Skill Assessment in Surgical Videos. Annually, 7 million patients worldwide suffer surgical complications, at least half of which are preventable, as many as are caused by poor individual and team performance. Improving surgical training and providing individualized feedback would help to reduce the rate of complications. However, the assessment process requires expert supervision and is time-consuming and subjective. I introduced a deep learning approach to track and recognize instruments in surgical videos, enabling rich analysis of tool movements and usage patterns. I then developed and extracted performance metrics that were found to effectively reflect aspects of operative technique, such as motion economy and bimanual dexterity, facilitating surgical skill assessment. I want to acknowledge a few people who made all of this possible. I'd like to thank my mentors, Dr. Serena Young and Dr. Jeffrey Jopling. I could not have done it without their continuous support and guidance. I'm also grateful to the Stanford AI Lab, Stanford Medicine, and AI for All for this research opportunity. Thank you to my parents and older brother for their unconditional love and support. And I extend my deepest gratitude to the Davidson Institute and Mr. Davidson for this scholarship, which I plan to use to further pursuing my studies and interests in college. Thank you so much.
Next, we have Miss Kavita Prabhu from Hendron, Virginia.
I promised I wouldn't fall, so. Good evening, everybody. My name is Kavita Prabhu, and I'm from Herndon, Virginia. I'm currently a freshman at Harvard studying computer science and neuroscience. My project was GlioVision in the category of science. So, can you believe that in the past 30 years, the prognosis for patients diagnosed with aggressive brain cancer has not improved? I couldn't believe that either. If you told me this statistic a year and a half ago, I would not have believed you. In the past 30 years, we've developed so much more about how the brain operates, developed cutting-edge surgery techniques and chemotherapy treatments. So why haven't we gotten better at treating aggressive brain cancer? And the answer is that we haven't fully utilized precision medicine yet. Precision medicine is a new field where patients receive targeted treatment for their specific condition and the characteristics of their disease. There's only one problem. While there is a lot of investment into research creating these new therapies to target these specific characteristics, there is no cost-effective and timely method to determine what these specific characteristics of a patient's disease are. So with my background in artificial intelligence, I saw a very clear use case for this technology in predicting gene expression patterns for cancerous tumors. Over the past year and a half, I was able to take this inkling of an idea and show that my GlioVision system can predict the molecular and genetic characteristics of a glioblastoma tumor with 100% accuracy. Not only does it have perfect accuracy, but it can make this prediction in under a minute at no additional cost to a health system. So what have I done with this technology since its development? GlioVision continues to undergo clinical testing at Georgetown Medical Center here in DC, a treatment hub for patients with glioblastoma. Just last week, I was here in DC at the Biden Cancer Summit, presenting my work to attendees. After learning about cancer initiatives all around the world and how important this research can be for the treatment of any cancer, I have a new goal for my project: to take it from research into real-world implementation. I want to implement GlioVision in every cancer center in the world to get patients the fastest, most effective treatment possible. I would first like to thank Mr. Davidson and everyone at the Davidson Institute for this award and the opportunity to meet and form friendships with my fellow fellows. I'd like to thank my parents and my brother for their unconditional support of my endeavors. I'd like to thank Mr. Hannum, Dr. Vonatavis, and everyone at Thomas Jefferson High School for their advice and support in every project that I've taken on in the past 4 years. And my promise after receiving this award is that I will continue to create healthcare solutions and drive them with artificial intelligence in my future endeavors. I firmly believe that the hallmark of medical innovation is helping patients, bringing greater access to a diagnosis, increasing the effectiveness of personalized treatment, and taking charge of one's own health. And the greatest method that our generation has to make a difference in this world is technology. So it's time to embrace it, not fear it. I look forward to a future integrating medicine and computer science in unprecedented and exciting ways, making the world a better place one algorithm at a time. Thank you.
Next, we have Mr. Rahul Subramanyam, a 17-year-old from Cosmo, Connecticut.
Hello, everyone. My name is Rahul Subramanyam, and I'm a current senior at Greenwich High School in Greenwich, Connecticut. My project is titled An Early Warning System for Zika Virus in Mosquito Populations, based on real-time field detection of viral RNA in mosquito saliva, and is in the science category, though to be more specific, it lies at the intersection of microbiology, molecular biology, and the epidemiology categories. Basically, I constructed a mosquito trap that can detect Zika virus in field mosquito populations. So I'm sure almost everyone here has heard of Zika virus and its crippling effects on newborns. Since Zika virus is carried by mosquitoes, it is a disease that can spread very rapidly once it reaches the community, making early detection prior to infection critical to survival. The virus is transmitted in the saliva of mosquitoes. So my idea was to detect Zika virus directly in the saliva of mosquitoes as they fly around in the wild. This led to me constructing my warning system in the form of a trap to catch live mosquitoes. Live mosquitoes are acutely sensitive to lack of water. By incorporating the detection method in a water-based solution in the trap, thirsty mosquitoes deposit saliva and virus in the solution, and the saliva is analyzed in real time as they sip the water. Within 15 minutes, a visual color change can be observed from the saliva of a single infected mosquito, with no human intervention or lab equipment required. This drastically reduces the current delay in detecting Zika in mosquitoes, which can take anywhere from 2 to 4 weeks. In this way, my system can act as an early warning system to detect Zika virus directly in wild mosquitoes. Detecting Zika so early within only a few mosquitoes allows for rapid quarantining of suspect areas and prevention of spread of infection, as well as allowing health officials to concentrate their resources to only the areas that they believe contain the virus. In the future, I really hope I can get the resources to finish actual testing of this system in a real-life scenario, including with live mosquitoes out in the wild. Career-wise, I hope to pursue medicine with an emphasis on epidemiology or infectious disease. No such project, of course, can be accomplished without the help from mentors, teachers, and parents. I'd like to thank Mr. Bob Davidson of the Davidson Institute and Ms. Tacey Mosner for providing this incredible opportunity to high schoolers like me, my mentor, Mr. Andrew Bramante, for his guidance and constant support over the course of my project, Mr. Michael Thomas of the Connecticut Agricultural Station for graciously taking the time to instruct me in the use of live mosquitoes, and my parents for their support and encouragement and always driving me wherever I need to go. So thank you very much.
Congratulations to all the Davidson Fellows. We have been so pleased to recognize your achievements. As you move forward through your educations and careers, know that the sky is the limit for each of you. We can't wait to see how that sky is. In addition to the parents and family members, I would also like to acknowledge all of the teachers, mentors, nominators who helped these fellows achieve their goals. Thank you for everything you have done to support these outstanding people, and good night.